Hello children, welcome back. We can continue our chapter separation of substances. Last class we have seen that sedimentation, decantation process and then filtration. Okay, so in both the process we have seen to separate the insoluble impurities. How to separate the insoluble impurities from a mixture by adding water, that we have seen. That paneer from milk is separated by the process of filtration. Tea leaves from tea we are separating by the process of filtration, isn't it? So all these are how to separate that insoluble impurities from the mixture. Now we can see how to separate soluble impurities from a mixture. We can see how to separate soluble impurities from a mixture. For that we can take some salt. Okay, put that salt in a vessel or a beaker and then add some water so that we can make salt water. Definitely in that salt impurities will be there, and you know that salt will dissolve in water. Okay, salt is a soluble material in water. So when we are adding water to that salt, after stirring it will dissolve in water. So in that salt water definitely impurities also will be there, which we cannot see. So if the impurities are soluble, that time also impurities will be there. If the impurities are insoluble there, we can filter the solution there. Okay, but if the impurities are soluble there, then what we will do? That is next method of separation. We will adopt the technique of evaporation. Okay, evaporation. During the time of evaporation, what we are doing? It is our seventh method. And during the time of evaporation, we are taking that mixture to be separated like solution. Just now we have taken that salt water. Okay, that is a salt solution that we are heating it. By heating, what will happen? Water will go into vapors by absorbing heat energy. We are heating it, so by absorbing heat energy, water will be going as water vapor, and when the complete water has gone into water vapor, salt will be left after in that vessel. It will be leaving there, it will be remaining there in that vessel. So along with that vapors, water vapors, all the soluble impurities also might have gone. Only the salt will be depositing there after the evaporation of water. So evaporation is a method to remove that soluble impurities. We can remove the soluble impurities. Soluble impurities can be removed by the process of evaporation. We are making that solution of that mixture by adding water. So we can see adding water, then what we are doing? If impurities, insoluble impurities are there, we can filter it, and then we are heating that mixture, heating the mixture. So what is happening there? When we are heating the mixture, that time water is evaporated. Water is evaporated off, leaving the pure solid. Water will get evaporated off, leaving the pure solid component there in that vessel. Water is easily evaporated off. So this is the method of evaporation. Okay. Hope it is clear to you. Okay. So, during this, if there is any soluble impurities are present, what we will do? We will add water. If any insoluble impurities are there, first we will filter it. Then after that we will be heating the mixture will be heated. During that time water is getting evaporated off and we will get the clear material at the bottom of the vessel. Okay. Now we can see another method, that is condensation. This, I think this condensation term is familiar to you. Condensation. What do you mean by condensation? Yes, it is opposite of the evaporation. Once if you are heating a solution, water will get evaporated off. By absorbing heat energy, water will be going into water vapor, and that is known as evaporation. Okay, once water vapor we are getting it, and on cooling that water vapor, it will be converted back to water again. So, condensation is cooling water vapor to water, cooling water vapor to water back. That process is known as condensation. So, condensation and evaporation are two opposite terms. Okay, during evaporation what is happening? Absorbing energy. Sometimes it doesn't need that always we need to we need not heat the material mixture. Sometimes evaporation will happen there at normal temperature. Okay, whatever it is, by absorbing energy, water is going into water vapor, and on cooling, that on losing that extra absorbed energy, that water vapor will come back as water, and that is known as condensation. Okay. During that preparation of salt from sea water, what is happening there? We are collecting that sea water. You know, sea water contain large number of salts there. In that, among that one is common salt which we use in our houses. Okay. So, we are collecting that sea water in large areas, open areas and all. Then by absorbing the energy from sun, that water will get evaporated off and salt will be remaining there. And after getting that salt, we need to purify that salt by adopting another methods. Okay. After that we can use that salt. Okay. So, salt from sea water is obtained by the process of evaporation, and condensation is the conversion of water vapors back to water by cooling it. Sometimes if we want to get back that water, evaporated water, during that time we will be adopting the method of condensation. Okay. So, evaporation and condensation we have seen. Now, if you are given a mixture of sand and salt, what you will do? How will you separate such a mixture? Imagine that you have given a mixture of sand and salt. That time, how can you separate that sand and salt from that mixture? Can we adopt sieving? No, because both are very fine sized particle, isn't it? We cannot adopt the method of hand picking also, because both are very smaller in size, both the components. So, what method we will adopt? In such situations, we have to adopt more than one technique of separation. Just now we have seen 7 methods of separation, isn't it? So, among this, any one or more than one method we have to use depending upon the nature of the mixture. In this case, sand and salt, that time we have to adopt more than one separation technique. We can see how we will separate the mixture of sand and salt. Separation of a mixture of sand and salt, what we will do. So, there more than one method we have to adopt. So, during that separation, first we will add water to this component mixture, because you know salt is soluble in water and sand is insoluble in water. So, such a mixture we are getting then we will add, first we will add water. Okay, after adding water, what is happening? Salt will dissolve in water. Salt will dissolve in water. Salt will dissolve in water. And sand will not. Okay, so salt will dissolve in water and sand will not dissolve. So, after adding water, what we are doing is we will keep the mixture for some time. So, what will happen? We will keep the mixture for some time. Keep the mixture for some time. What happens at that time, what will happen? Yes, the insoluble sand will settle down. Insoluble sand will settle down. That is known as, yes, that is known as, it will sediment. So, insoluble sand will sediment okay. So, we are adopting sedimentation also. First we are adding water to the mixture. So, during that time soluble component will dissolve in water and insoluble component will remain in that water, and after that we are allowing it to stand for a minute. After that, insoluble component will be settling down, which is known as sedimentation. Okay, sand will get sedimented there. After that sedimentation, we can filter it. We can adopt decantation also, but better than decantation we can adopt filtration for getting that fine water. Okay, so the next method we are adopting is filtration. Okay, so first method we are adopting there is, after adding water, first method is sedimentation. Then we are adopting filtration. Okay, second method is filtration. During that time, pouring that water through a filter paper, so that sand will be trapped in that filter paper and water will be going down. Okay, filtration to remove sand. In that second step, sand is removed. Okay, and then after that what we are doing? We are taking that salt water, evaporating that salt water. Evaporating salt water, what we will get it? Yes, we will get the salt there. Evaporating salt water will give you salt there. But suppose that you want to get that added water there back, then what we will do? We can take that mixture in a kettle for evaporation. That salt water to be taken in a kettle for evaporation, and that mouth of the kettle, that hand side is there, through that water vapor will come out. When it is boiling, vapor will come out, and that vapors we can, by keeping a cooling plate, a cold plate or ice cold plate on the hands of the kettle, we can show so that the water vapor will contact with a cold surface and it will be condensed back. So, water will get condensed back. And final, all the water is completely evaporated off. You will get salt in that kettle. Inside the kettle you will get salt there. Okay. So, these are the different methods we are adopting to separate the components of a single mixture. Two components were there in that mixture, sand and soil. So, what we did is, first we have added water. After adding water, what we do? Adding water, salt is soluble in water and sand is insoluble in water, and after adding water we kept it for sedimentation. So, that is the first method of separation, sedimentation. After sedimentation of the sand, we filtered that solution to separate the sand. After filtration, what we did is, we have evaporated the salt water to get to get the salt, evaporated salt water to get the salt. And if we want to collect the water back, if we want to collect that evaporated water back, then what we have to do? Yes, we have to adopt condensation. Condensation should be done for collecting that water vapor back. So, these are the different methods. First one is sedimentation. After sedimenting, filtration is conducted then evaporated the solution. Then to collect the water back, we have taken that water vapor for condensing. So, these are the different methods of separation technique adopted for separating the components of a single mixture. Hope this much is clear to you. Thank you.